Hi, and welcome to the USA Gymnastics webinar covering the Member Club Legislative Advocacy Program that we are starting, which is a new member club benefit for our gymnastics member clubs. We have John Valencia, who is with the Wilkes-Fleury Law and Lobbying Firm, here to speak with us about this new initiative. John?
Good morning and good early afternoon to those of you in the Eastern Time Zone. I'm John Valencia, and we are both consulting to USA Gymnastics and have represented Region 1 USA Gymnastics here in the Western United States, and it's our privilege and pleasure to assist in the development of the Legislative Advocacy Program, which is more than the name suggests in that these are tools that will prepare you for a response, we hope, to regulatory agency interest in your business and business activities in your various states and localities, as well as legislative efforts that would have impact on business as well. It is something of an inevitability, as more and more members around the country are discovering, that a regulatory agency will take an interest in your business activities and perhaps try and slot the round peg of business activity into the square hole of their regulatory reach. Similarly, either by intention or by unintended consequence, well-meaning members of various state legislatures will see a problem, try and address it, and inadvertently scoop up the business that you are in and the nature of the activities that you're in while they're focused on something else, whether it is equipment safety, whether it is childhood vaccinations, whether it is daycare situations. In fact, many of the business generation and business enhancement suggestions that many of you will see at National Congress may, in some regions and in some areas of the state, create a bit of tension with the regulatory bodies in your state as they may begin to look at the business of a gymnastics member club in a different way than they ordinarily might. This is a prophylactic set of tools that we hope you'll benefit from by undertaking them. The political action plan, like all training, is about developing familiarity with some simple tools before you need to employ them. They're essential steps and a plan that's designed to maintain your relationship with public policymakers and public officials that can intervene with a regulatory agency or with some of their colleagues in a state capital to avoid a negative impact on your business as they intend to perhaps address another issue that has caught their attention. With regular presence and with the development of yourselves as the go-to experts in your jurisdiction, we hope to be able to anticipate and offset the impact of those potential problems. Because at the end of the day, you have member power. You're a nationwide organization, and each of you is organized in your various states and jurisdictions. What you have to offset negative impact from regulatory body or legislative body actions is you have foot power and you have business presence in districts. We want to encourage you to utilize, especially in the 14, 15-month run-up that's left to Olympics 2016, utilize the appeal of the sport, utilize wherever possible the appeal of your celebrities and well-known supporters, and try and combine the various tactical tools that we will generate in order for you to be able to influence activities and events that may affect your business. The organization has developed a set of frequently asked questions that you can refer to long after this presentation. We hope that you'll refer to them and raise questions and submit them wherever possible. Training for action in this particular arena, if you will, is very straightforward. We have basic plan objectives designed to elevate you as a USA Gymnastics member club affiliate as the go-to business beyond just the sports activity that you're engaged in your community, in your region, in your state, and ultimately nationally. By elevating USA Gymnastics through you individually in your various states, the organization takes on and your businesses take on a much more diverse and multifaceted presence when it comes to both regulatory body representatives as well as legislators in your jurisdiction. Think about the impact that you can have by presenting this basic information to those that represent you or those that may directly or indirectly attempt to regulate you. It's about the economics. How many athletes are there in your state? How many athletes are we working with nationwide? How many member clubs are there in a given state? How many employees work for clubs statewide? How much money, reported or best estimate, is generated for a state's economy by the events associated with USA Gymnastics? Competitions, training, the everyday business. That makes you something more than a frivolous adventure that people focus on perhaps most seriously only once every 4 years, and maintains an elevated presence of the importance of your business in gymnastics, gymnastics training, and gymnastics sports administration, as well as safety issues, equipment advances, and technology advances in your business throughout the course of each year and each week in each year, so that there isn't an inadvertent impact on your business. Obviously, we want to make, as a plan objective and a goal for each of you, we want to make your business the go-to business, and USA Gymnastics on a regional, state, and national basis, the go-to public policy resource for policymakers regarding business operations, gymnastics club operations, athlete training, their care and non-training hours and time, business promotion and alternative activities that you come up with and are encouraged to develop for your business, and standard setting, the reason why USA Gymnastics exists, to make sure that the sport and the business of the sport always maintain the degree of integrity that the organization and you have worked so hard to develop. We recommend the development of a fact sheet with the assistance of USA Gymnastics. You'll be able to refer to a sample. It should be a basic tool that you can present anytime you engage a public policy maker at the grassroots level, at their district level, when they invite you to be in communication with them, to attend curbside gatherings, coffee clutches, meetings, open houses at the office. It is about establishing, as it always is in business, it's about establishing a relationship with an individual and individual representatives of agencies that can impact your business, and making sure that on an education front they know as much about your business and about as much about the business of gymnastics, its economic impact, statewide and nationally as possible. We recommend the development of statistics, again, working synergistically with USA Gymnastics for each state, so that you're able to impact public policymakers, whether they be regulators or legislators, before they act, and before they act to impact your business, not necessarily always for the positive. Basic first step. Isn't that always the case with training? We need your help in creating a database wherever possible for all states nationwide that really gives the organization a clue as to what relationships are already established with elected and appointed public policymakers at all levels, because certainly state-level representatives and legislators can impact the business probably most immediately and more immediately than members of Congress, but certainly even that as well. A basic database gives us an idea of where strength lies and what needs to be worked on. Again, there are close parallels with the training that you're most familiar with. In terms of developing a basic database, we want to know where we're strong, and we want to know where we need to work to develop relationships, and then take the information that we're developing in this legislative program to exercise in the areas that we're not quite as strong in order to develop relationships. So a simple survey is being commissioned by USA Gymnastics, which wants to initiate member outreach in order to build an information inventory, a simple database. What relationships do member clubs have with regulators and with existing public policymakers? It's remarkable when a simple question like this is asked. the nature of the relationships that can be discovered. My uncle, brother, father, mother, sister, cousin, second cousin is a member of the Georgia legislature or the Texas House of Representatives or the California State Senate or the Washington State General Assembly or the New York Assembly. It's remarkable. Or my classmate is a member of Congress, or my best man or bridal honor representative is in some legislative body somewhere. When we have that information, information is power. When we don't have that information, we need to develop it. So after the survey, we want to implement working tactics. We want to develop those folks that we know and those folks that we come to know who are in public policy making positions or regulatory positions that can have an equal and sometimes even more immediate impact on your business. We want to give them a vested interest in you. We want to give them a vested interest in USA Gymnastics by way of you. You are an important social, athletic, and business presence in your community. And by elevating the presence, by elevating the visibility, by elevating the knowledge base about your business with folks that we have an existing relationship with or that with whom we develop relationships, we give them a vested interest in your success and encourage them directly and indirectly not to adversely or negatively impact your business when they seek to establish policy in their state. We want to connect legislators and regulators to USA Gymnastics member facilities and your events, which have great appeal in your district, in your region, statewide convenings. We want to educate public policymakers, again, regulators and legislators, I use that synonymously, about the business of each day in a member club. So we're encouraging member club site visits for two reasons. It helps cement the direct relationship between yourself in your community and in your legislative district and the public policymaker that comes to get to know the nature of your business. I dare say that unless a public policymaker is the parent of an athlete who's engaged in gymnastics activity, or perhaps their last direct personal experience might have been tumbling class in PE somewhere, they've probably not engaged in understanding the nature of your business. It is an important first step in getting to know or in cementing relationships with public policymakers who are less likely to adversely impact you if they know something about you. And the sooner they know about you and the sooner they come to appreciate the daily business in which you're engaged, the employee base, and your connection with the state and national network of member clubs, the less likely they are to move forward, at least without checking in with you to begin with. And so a basic step, one that shouldn't be feared, in fact should be embraced, is come visit my business. Come get to know me, get to know my employees, get to know some of the athletes we're working with, but take a look at this business operation and you'll see that it is at one and the same time both simple and complex. It's a simple business proposition, and we work with some sophisticated equipment, standards, and adhere to those standards for both athletic promotion and the safety of our athletes. It helps to provide an easy and efficient and easily understood illustration of the value of the business of your member club in your community and in that legislator's legislative district, or for that regulator's regulatory scope of responsibility. And they come to understand it and think twice before moving forward with something that may impact the business, whether by public policy making or whether by regulatory enforcement. Education and advocacy in your home community is where you are best known and where you are probably most comfortable. But ultimately, as you develop comfort and familiarity with these tools, we want to encourage you to take the business of gymnastics to your various state capitals. Around the corner, and while this is not intended for immediate employment, if you are ahead of the curve on utilizing these tools, there's no reason not to get public policymakers around the country to focus on National Gymnastics Day coming up in September, quite literally a month or so from now. as the run-up to national focus on national success, national engagement in the Olympic movement, which is around the corner. There will be a series of qualifiers, of course. There will be a series of events around the country. Any opportunity to connect your everyday business in the minds of public policymakers and regulators to the movement, to the events, to the activities, and of course the economics of all of that is very important. We'll want to encourage the initiation of an annual USA Gymnastics Day in the state capitol. The time period in September for National Gymnastics Day may not necessarily coincide with a legislative session. Around the country, many states hold accelerated legislative sessions that run barely from January in a given year till spring. A relative handful of states around the country have full-time legislatures, for better or for worse, and they may run as long as in the case of California and a few other states, as long as late August or mid-September, in which case National Gymnastics Day in September would coincide with the opportunity to create a focus on USA Gymnastics Day. But USA Gymnastics Day is a concept that can be customized to your jurisdiction at your location, whatever works best for you. This is not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's whatever works best for you to maintain the critical and important relationships with public policymakers and regulators to make sure that they know your business and they don't inadvertently or consciously seek to impact it, and typically not necessarily for the better. So after the inventory, after the database development, after the survey, after getting legislators and regulators to know your business in the community that you're comfortable in, a trip to the state capitol community in your state with a signature USA Gymnastics Day focused on the business impact of whatever happens to be going on in a given state in a given year. Is it child safety, child care regulation that somehow consciously or inadvertently scoops up the activities of a gymnastics club? More and more states seem to be sliding in that direction, whether by regulatory movement or by legislative interest in every setting that has adults working with children, either in on an active basis or in a caregiving basis. We want to offer legislators and administration your expertise, your policy development resource whenever they become interested in the business of gymnastics. On an affirmative and proactive basis, we want to provide them with all the information, much of which will emerge from terrific gatherings like the National Congress, the latest reports on exercise benefits, the latest reports and information on sports injury recovery, training techniques, safety equipment, advances in equipment, and so forth. They may or may not be interested in the issue at the moment, but they know that you've taken the time and the trouble to email it in, mail it in, call it in, make an appointment to discuss. That separates you from the crowd of constituents who oftentimes just grumble in private about whatever is going on in your state capital or in Washington, D.C. Wherever possible, particularly in this run-up period to the national and global focus on athletics in the form of the Olympics, wherever possible, especially given the run-up in the number of anticipated events, do extend an invitation to these very same folks to again get another level of exposure to the activities and to the network that USA Gymnastics and that your role in USA Gymnastics represents in terms of athletic development, civic respect, charitable activities, and so forth. Every event, every opportunity, every occasion represents another tactical tool available to you to expose our public policy makers to the nature of the sport, the nature of the business in sport development, and to avoid wherever possible adversely impacting this unique business sector without it, at the very least, preliminarily consulting you as an expert or someone that you can refer them to before they launch into regulating or into legislating. We have, again, at the USA Gymnastics site, a website dedicated to National Gymnastics Day, really a who, what, when, where, how to do it set of tools on developing state proclamations and legislative resolutions to recognize National Gymnastics Day, and tying it in with activities and events that will cement the signature nature of the importance of National Gymnastics Day, but more importantly, the importance of your sport and your business in enhancing the sport. Finally, we would encourage you to take action utilizing these tools. Review the frequently asked questions that have been developed for you. Contact advocacy at usagymnastics.org with any questions that you have. Take the survey as it's issued by USA Gymnastics, and don't hesitate to ask questions at any time that you have them. We're here to support your success in this training effort in preparation for whatever may come down in your given state. And with that, I thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see if there are questions or comments by way of follow-up.
Thank you so much, John. And again, you can direct any of your questions and comments to advocacy at usagym.org. And we are looking forward to all of our member clubs taking advantage of this very special and exciting new initiative and new benefit for you all. So again, thank you for attending today's webinar.